Hey, it's Candus, and in today's QuickBooks tips, I am actually going to answer a QuickBooks Online question. So I don't answer a lot of QuickBooks Online just for the fact that most of the people in my community are not QuickBooks Online users, but I thought this was a great question, and it applies to no matter what type of QuickBooks you are using. So the question is this: Candus, I'm using QuickBooks Online. I have some customers who paid me through checks, cash, or credit card, a couple different people who I've deposited their money and now they are not going to work with us with our services, or they're asking for a refund. How do I enter that in QuickBooks? So then I responded wanting to know a little bit more, because I always ask more questions so I can answer them. But they said they're not creating invoices. So if you're not creating invoices, you're entering directly into the banking center, what I call the banking center inside of QuickBooks Pro. What you're going to do is you're going to go here under transactions. You're going to go to your chart of account or your banking. This is a sample file that I have within QuickBooks, so it does not link to a bank account. So I'm actually going to click on the chart of accounts, go into the bank. I'm going to click on View Register. And there are two ways that you can enter this. You're going to go up. You're going to add a check. If you're refunding them with a check, you're going to do a check. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick your customer here inside of QuickBooks. Now, if you use all of your customers are, say, daily sales or online sales or something like that, feel free to just click online sales. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select your bank account. If you have it set up here where you can enter a check number, which is just under the settings within QuickBooks Online, make sure you enter that. You can follow along with this if you're in Pro or if you're in Mac or whatever version of QuickBooks you're using. You can follow along with what I'm doing. So you're basically refunding the customer. It's the bank account, has their mailing address, the date that you made the payment. Then you're going to come down here and you have two options. Depends how you want it as a manager to see it on your profit and loss. The first is you can choose to do it under the income account that you originally sold the products and services to for that customer. Whatever income, it shows up on the profit and loss if you're using the banking center. If you use invoices, you create a credit memo and there's a whole nother step. But to keep it simple, this is how you would do it. So you can either go back to the income and reduce the income and then put a memo in for what they wanted and then put the dollar amount. And that'll reduce your income. Now, the other way to do it is you can actually create another income account that would actually make it a negative dollar amount. And you could call that like refund customer. Now, they have one inside QuickBooks Online to begin with called refund-allowances. And you'll see that's an income account that's already created in this particular one. You can also call it refund customers. It's one I added to show this example. Whatever you want, put a memo in and then put the $100. Let me show you, depending which one you pick, what it'll actually look like on your profit and loss. So you put the dollar amount in, you click Save and New. And I'm going to close that screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go under reports and show you what happened in QuickBooks. So we're going to go under the profit and loss, because it's always about what actually happens with the report so you can manage and grow your business. So if I choose the April 5th here to April 5th, and then I click Run Report, you'll see a negative $100. Now, if I expand this out, I'm just going to do all because I don't have very much time frame in here, and I click Run Report. You'll notice there could be $500 income, minus $100 refund. The difference is $400. That's one way to do it. If you want to see like how much refunds have I actually received. If you don't care and you don't want that broke out, what you can actually do, I'm going to go back in and reopen up the one I did. If you put it directly in against your income account that you originally put the income to, it will actually reduce that income, and this is what it will look like. We'll click Run Report. You'll notice instead of it having 500 minus 100, it just gives you 400. So it really depends what you want to see. The same transactions are there. It's just all put into one. That's your choice. So it really depends what you want to see. Do you want to see $400 total, or do you want to see the 500 minus $100 refund? It's totally up to you. As I always say, if you really wonder, I don't think your CPA will care, but feel free to ask them. I'm not a CPA. I don't do taxes. I teach QuickBooks. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'll give you the tips as I know. Feel free to ask them questions if you have any. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. And if you haven't heard, I have a mini course that I created, Confidence with QuickBooks mini course, where you can go in and get started with QuickBooks in under an hour. So if you know somebody who's trying to learn QuickBooks, or you're just starting to learn QuickBooks, it is done in QuickBooks Pro, which is the Windows version, but you will learn a ton. Feel free to go to CandusCampfer.com/mini course. It's free. It's a 2-part series that you get to do it all within an hour. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.